Okay, there we go. So we are recording now. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming to today's session. Looking at interpersonal communication skills. Today is the first session of the course. We are just going to be running through a few kind of essentials, looking at what we mean by interpersonal communication skills, how those can help us at work, and so on. Before we start though, I just wanted to run through a couple of things. First of all, hello. We're just going to get to know each other a bit better, that kind of thing, and then we'll just look at a brief run through of what to expect on the course, and also a little bit of a review how to use Zoom, some of the tools we'll be using in the session, because I think obviously for some of you it's probably been quite a while since you've used Zoom, and it does tend to change over time. Things move around, new features appear, old features disappear, and so on. Anyway, so hello, I'm Matt. Nice to meet you. Good morning. For this first activity, good morning. For this first activity, we are just going to break the ice, get to know each other. So first of all, I'd like you to choose a colour. Kyril, can you choose a colour on the screen? Blue, okay. What can you see in the picture? Skyline, any idea where? Anyone else, any ideas? It is Thailand, correct, yes, it's Bangkok. Any idea why I've got a picture of Bangkok on the screen? Correct, that's right. Before I came to Malaysia, I used to live in Bangkok. I lived there for about 12 years. This is a place which is very important to me. Interestingly, it's also the last place I visited on holiday. Over Christmas I went back to Bangkok. Don't know if you've ever been to Bangkok at Christmas, but it's an experience, very, very intense. They absolutely love Christmas there. For some reason, it's not a Christian country, is it? It's a Buddhist country, but they love Christmas. Right, absolutely. It's a very interesting place. All right, let's have a look at another colour. Adila, can you choose a colour? Purple. Okay, what can you see here? It is a map. A map of... Does anyone recognise that? Good guess, but no, it's not Thailand. It's actually in Malaysia. I'll give you a hint. It is Penang. I'm amazed you guys didn't recognise that. It's Penang. Yes, that's me. Sure. Yeah, no, fair enough. You've probably spent a lot less time looking at a map of Penang than I have, because I live in Penang, on Penang Island. So yeah, there you go. That's where I'm currently living, and delivering the session from as well. All right then, next. Oh, Shazim, you're on mute. The red one. Okay. a few different pictures here. Any idea what's going on here? They're a bit small, aren't they, these pictures? I'll see if I can make them a bit bigger. Completely destroyed my flip chart there. They are, yes, they are my hobbies. And what are my hobbies? Yeah, of course. There we go. That's right. And next one. Is there something behind the yellow one? 2. Good guess. But no, I don't have any children, I'm afraid. 2 wives. Oh, one is expensive enough, to be honest. 2 years. What have I been doing for 2 years? Yeah, great. No, I've been doing my job for 2 years, absolutely. Almost exactly 2 years, yeah. But also living in Malaysia, living in Penang for 2 years. But yeah. Okay, next colour. Green. Absolutely, yeah, great. Was that a guess, Kyle? Yeah, no, great guess. Yes, I've been teaching for 20 years. I started in 2005 in Thailand. Yeah, wow, 20 years. Thailand has certainly changed a lot in the last 20 years. I mean, would you say Malaysia has changed a lot in 20 years? Yeah, I imagine it probably has. Yes, yeah. Anyway, last one, orange. Another map. Any idea where that is? Great, yeah. Why do you think London, Kyron? Right, yeah, great. No, good, absolutely. So you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's a map of the UK and Ireland, and yeah, the arrow. It's not pointing directly to London. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be pointing a tiny bit north of London, because. Well done, absolutely, that's right. This is where I'm originally from. Yeah, so quite a long way from Malaysia. Not quite sure how I ended up on the other side of the world, but there you go. All right, great. So some interesting facts about me there. Let's see if we can remember what we've got. So Bangkok is... Okay, where I used to teach, and also the last place I went on holiday as well. We've got Penang, which is the UK, just north of London, is right. All these pictures here are my 2 is. Right, and 20. Correct. Okay, great. So there's some information about me. Next, I want to see if we can share some information about each other. So similar sorts of topics, as you can see. I just want you to take, first of all, 2 minutes just to think of questions that you could ask each other about these topics. Okay. You can make a note of these, write them down, just think of them in your head. That's absolutely fine. Very, very quickly, just 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, just give you 30 seconds. Okay, and time's up. Stop. Right. Next, now you've got some questions, you've got some ideas. I am going to give you 3 minutes. This time, I'm going to switch my camera off. I'll still be here, I'll still be listening, but my camera's going to be off. I want the 3 of you to take turns, ask your questions that you've got to each other. You've got 3 minutes. Can you find 4 things that you all have in common? All right. Are you ready? All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, time's up, time's up, time's up. Yeah, how many things did you find in common there in the end? Okay, okay, okay. True. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, great. All right. Interesting though. Interesting. Yeah, great. Well done. Um, so, what do you think? Was it easy or difficult to find things that you have in common? Right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah, sure. I always think that it's quite interesting how, even with people that we work with quite closely for quite a long time, when you do an activity like this, you kind of realize actually, I don't know as much as I thought I did about my colleagues. There's quite a lot of things that you can still ask about. Um, but of course, there are reasons for that. When we work, we're so focused on what we're doing that you know it's understandable, right? Great. All right then. So, one more thing before we begin the session. Very, very quickly. As we said, we're just going to run through some basic functions for Zoom just to make sure we're all clear about what to do and how to use the thing, the tools. Okay, so number one, what's that? The unmute button, yes. Everybody clear about where the unmute button is? Yeah, yeah, good, good, good. Um, Obviously, just don't forget to unmute yourself. It's a pretty basic one, but just check that we all know that. Okay, next one. Mm. This is obviously this one is definitely right, right, right. So to be honest, I think this particular slide that we're looking at the moment is maybe a little bit old. The This button has probably changed a little bit since this was made. Where can you find the raise hand button now? That's right, yeah, if you click on React, you'll see you've got a whole range, not just raising hands anymore, it's like absolutely everything. Um, so a little bit fiddly to begin with, but once you learn about it, it's good. Now, obviously, today we've got quite a small session, only 3 participants. It's not really too important to worry about that, but very useful in a larger session. And of course, if you do want to raise your hand, if you do want to say something while someone else is speaking, it's good to know. All right, number 2. This is something that we probably won't be using that much this session, but are you familiar with the whiteboard on Zoom? I actually don't use it very much. I'm not very familiar with it. However, one thing we will be using is annotate. Where is annotate? Everybody's very quiet. It's not very easy to find, is it? Now, the last time I used Zoom to deliver training, which was a few months ago, at the top of the screen where it should say you are viewing Matt Luckins' screen, and there's a view options. You click on view options, you should be able to see annotate there. Yeah, okay, great. It's still in the same place. That's right. So as it says here, go to view options at the top of the screen, select annotate, and there's a whole list of different things you can do that will appear on the left hand side of your screen. As I said, we will be using that one later in the session. Number 3 is kind of following on from that. Just a little bit more information about annotate. Again, the presentation has slightly changed in later versions of Zoom, but it's the same sort of thing. Generally speaking, the draw, stamp and type tools are the main ones we need to use. Number 4. What can you see in number 4? It is the chat box. Yeah. So we will occasionally be using the chat box rather than talking. It's just gives people a bit of a rest from discussing. Sometimes that can take quite a lot of energy online. So particularly when we're brainstorming things like that, we'll be using the chat box. It says here, send your message to everyone. Now, I'm pretty sure with British Council Zoom, the only options you have are send to everyone or send directly to me as the trainer. So it should, by default, it should be sent to everyone. Just check that you've got that selected so everyone can see what you're saying. Number 5, yeah, we've already looked at them, but reactions. Other reactions, in addition to raising your hand, you can maybe experiment with those a bit later. Any questions about how to use Zoom? Is everything okay? Yeah. Great. Right then. So, we're going to practice using a couple of those tools now. Here is an overview of the course, Interpersonal Communication Skills. Now, at the beginning of the course, it's always a good idea to kind of look through what we're going to study, just so that you're clear about what we'll be doing. And it's also really good because it helps you to think about what are your communication skills right now? What are you confident about? Where do you think you need to develop? So here you can see in the competency box that I've outlined. This is everything we're going to be looking at on this course. Today, we'll just be looking at... trying to find my own stamp tools here. We'll just be looking at foundations of interpersonal communication and structuring clear and coherent messages, just these two. But here's what we'll actually be studying about. Now, I think some of these things are quite complicated. So for each of these, what I'd like you to do now, I'll give you maybe 2 minutes, read through. For each one, think about, do you know what this means? Is it something that you feel really confident with already? Or is it something you read it and you think, what on earth is that? There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I think for most people, when they look at this, we'll probably look at a few of them and think, well, that doesn't make any sense. So, using the annotate tool, and if you go down to the stamp function, which on the toolbar is 1, 2, 3, 4, number 5, you can see the arrow there. In these boxes on the right of the screen, just stamp what you think. For example, set personal targets to improve my interpersonal communication skills. I understand this, I think. You can stamp there. So yeah, 2 minutes, read through, see what you think. Okay, great, yeah, Kyle, that's right, something like that. Okay, yeah, obviously today we're just focusing on the first couple of modules, but you can look through the rest of the course as well if you want and see what you think about those. Shah, are you okay? I notice you haven't stamped anything yet. Oh, there we go. All right then, so that's 2 minutes. Okay. Stop. Time's up. That's okay. I mean, obviously, again, today we're just looking at the first couple of modules, and later we can look at the others. So let's just focus on the first two. Interesting. So I think we can see, if we look at the kind of things that people have stamped. Kyle, how would you summarise people's responses there? Oh, you're on mute, Kyle. Yeah, so what kinds of things are similar or different? Or... Yeah. Adila, would you agree with that? Yeah, absolutely, and it's something that you often find for people in any profession, right? These are skills that we all spend all of our working lives developing, but they're things that we never really study. We don't really know about them, and a lot of it, we're just trying to learn from experience a lot of the time. Whereas a course like this, we're looking at specific techniques that we can use to enhance some of these skills, even if we think we're already pretty good at them. And that's what we'll be looking at today, just giving us an idea of what we actually mean by all of this. Right, something that we can actually do, absolutely, yeah, sure.